and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build video. And today I'm finally showcasing to all of you the sub-Saharan Southern African house. So I'm not being painfully obtuse for no reason at all. The countries that cover this specific area that I've stated is South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia. Some people debate Angola, Mozambique, and Botswana, and Madagascar, and some people debate Madagascar as well. But that like particular area, because that was the area where I was born specifically. I was born in Zimbabwe, but I was raised in England. So I visit Zimbabwe quite often. So I've got a lot of memories in that area. So I decided to, well, not, and I'm gonna just say Zimbabwe because it's like it's a whole country. I've got a lot of memories of specifically the capital of Zimbabwe, which is Harare. So I know of a lot of buildings there. So this is not a one shoe fits all of the types of residences you can have in the country, but it's what I distinctively remember what residences looked like, especially around the areas I used to like go around when I was younger, and now when I visit a lot. These are the type of houses I see, and these are also the type of houses that if one day I'm able to have enough money, I will get a house both here in England, here in Zimbabwe, and one in Australia. So yeah, and as you can see, I've got quite a thing for bungalow houses. Like I just love one floor, one story houses a lot more than staircases and stuff like that, except for when it's in England. If it's in England, I want a staircase because people are weird and I should be able to run up the staircase. But if it's any other country like Australia and Zimbabwe, I would rather have one story. And I think a lot of other people would because they are just so popular there. But yeah, I had so much fun building this. I did a lot of things that I don't normally do when it comes to doing builds in The Sims, such as doing like full-on gates. Like sometimes I do like fences, like a little bit kind of thing, just like a little fence here and there, mainly for aesthetic purposes. I did like if you would look at it at a like practical light or an engineering light, there would not be that great of fences to utilize because they've got no protection. But in this one, it's quite like obvious the type of protection you would get because it's surrounding the entire building. But it's just so pretty. That, and I did another thing that I don't normally do when it comes to these type of builds is I've like most of it is just covered with tiling because there's a lot of tiling there because it's just such an outdoorsy type of environment. Like this, the weather is just is so much like it's just so much sun. So a lot of people do just normally stay outside, and I just wanted to add that because a lot of people stay outside. So a lot of people utilize the outside environments, and if you keep it like grass and everything and all the things that everyone's doing outside, it's just much more annoying to maintain than tiling. So they do have a lot of tiling. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but for example, a distinctive memory I have, and something that does occur a lot when I visit is, and something that might be different depending on country to country. But I know that we normally would clean like the front porch area like brush kind of style, which you don't do in England, which is different. In England, you just kind of let the water go away with it. That, and you normally don't have a big enough house for you to be actually, going outside and cleaning the front yard, because some people don't even have front yards. Some people just have, the house and then the back. Like a lot of terraced houses like I've built before, they just kind of have the house and then they've got the back garden. They don't really have like a front garden or anything like that, but they're just so expansive here. So there's just so much to cover and so much to maintain. So there's a lot of tiling everywhere to make sure that it's not going to be a pain, because I have visited a house before, because there's of course so much family there. I visited a house where it didn't have tiling and it was beautifully maintained, but there was a lot of agricultural work and a lot of botany work and all of that kind of stuff. Like you have to know your plants if you're not going to put tiles. And with me, this basically, I decided to build a house that I would love to live in. And with me, I wouldn't know the first thing about plants. Like I would, if I had the money, I would hire a gardener to just come in and take care of like the front area and the area I'm doing now. But that's about it. I really wouldn't like want too much going on. But yeah, I really enjoyed because there was just so many different That's just so many different styles I got to play with. And now looking at it, because this was one of the videos that I had sitting in my video editor for a long time. Normally, I don't let videos sit in my video editor. Normally, I allow especially if I've edited it and done everything like that. Normally, I go in and I just do the voiceover, but I was sitting on this for like over a week because I was like, I don't know, I want to make sure I discuss this properly. I want to make sure I just showcase like it's just such a big aspect. Like it's such a big achievement for me. Like I think this and then doing a mansion are gonna be like times 10. I think it was like if I was to talk about my building achievements in the game, I'll say it's building a flat because that was a key point in my life. Building this house because this is a key point in my life. And then building a mansion, which is not a key point in my life, but it will become a key point in my life. Okay. But in all seriousness, I don't want a mansion when I'm older. They're scary. They're too big. That I have no need for such a big area, such a big place. I would rather have a London townhouse or I just like upper middle class type of house in England, like those types of houses. Like they're not that big. They're bigger, but they're not that big. Like you won't feel the emptiness if it's just you by yourself in the house because it's got that kind of comfort and that kind of cozy feeling to it compared to like expansive white mansions, especially a modern. It just gives me horror vibes. If I was ever to be in a modern mansion, I'll just feel like I'm in a horror film. But anyways, yeah, so if I was to say my building achievements within the game, I'll say it's building flat, then building this, and then when I do build a mansion. So yeah, I was holding on to it because I was just so excited, but I wanted to make sure that I get everything in that I want to discuss about this build because in my castle build yesterday, I didn't even discuss half of the things I wanted. I rushed the end part where I was talking about how I was inspired by Merlin and Twitches and everything like that. Like I had so much more to say about that castle. And yes, I wanted to make sure I had my thoughts together before doing that. I wanted to discuss every little detail that I do with it because it's just like one of my everything I do. I always try and do with a lot of detail, but this is just, I don't know. It's just everything kept going right. And I loved it, except for the recording. I think you guys saw at the beginning it was a little bit glitchy. Yeah, except for that. But beyond that, everything else went amazingly. So with what I also wanted to discuss about this that I'm really happy that I did and I didn't think of doing is that since gates are such a big thing, um, they don't normally have them fully covered. So they normally have it like maybe half wall, half covered. So I got to use the debug fences, the walls, and just put them on top of the fences. And that was just, it was just the piece de resistance of the entire thing. I don't know if I said that perfectly. I'm trying to study French at the moment. But yeah, it was just the one of the things that made it just so great. And I was so happy with the 4-end pack because even though the 4-end pack, I wouldn't necessarily say the build buy is one of my favorite build buys I've ever had within the Sims expansion packs. But one aspect I did love about it is that it was just it was so multicultural and it was just a different type of vibe and it allowed me to do things that I wouldn't necessarily be able to do with the pre-existing packs, such as those wall windows that are almost just kind of like vents, because that's a big thing I remember at my grandmother's house. She has like wall vents like that. So instead of just having like, I don't know, like a machine, it's just like it's so filtered and like done right that you'll barely have any like flies coming in or anything like that. It's just the air comes in and the hardly most of the time the bugs don't come in except for this one time I did turn around and I was jump scared because there was a massive spider on the wall. And me, regardless of country, I hate spider. I won't go anywhere near them. I remember there was this huge, okay, it wasn't a huge story. I'm being dramatic. There was this little story about this black widow in an area where I lived in and I was terrified. And till this day, every single time I do anything, I make sure there's no spider. I was suffering during September to November because it was spider season, and everywhere I looked in my room, I saw a spider. I think you can even see in some of my recordings that I'm just screaming about how there is a spider. I just saw a spider and now the spider's gone. I saw a spider and now the spider's gone and everything like that. So that's the only con that sometimes spiders can enter those events, but besides that, I think they're really good and they just it costs less than money and it's more environmentally friendly. I think that's one of the things I also just really love about houses within sub-Saharan Africa, specifically Zimbabwe, is because they just are so eco-friendly because they don't utilize such grand materials to create. They do use quite a lot, but it's not. It's just a simpler life. And that's how I say it feels like a simpler life. By the way, all of those windows you are seeing, I was planning on making this house, but originally I was planning on making, was it a townhouse or was it a farmhouse? But I downloaded is it the Haven, Bloomin' Haven? There's this one pack it's not a pack, it's a kit. It's the first ever kit I've ever paid for because normally the kits are free, the ones that I've gotten, like the Essential Clutter kit, the Desert kit, all of those ones have been free. So that I've never actively paid for a kit. And now look at me having paid for 2 kits. That £10 could have gone to food. But yeah, no, I'm happy with buying those kits because those are the kits that I've always kind of wanted, except for the vacuum cleaner kit. I really want that, but there's nothing in my mind that can logically tell me that is an okay purchase to make. So you probably won't see that unless I've got a lot of excess money, but I don't. So you won't see that in a long time. But I got the something Haven kit. And with that Haven kit, I was able to basically utilize these windows that I've always had my eye on. I've seen people use them, but I've never known where they're from. And I used to think they were CC at one point until I was watching this one speed build and I saw it and I was like, wait, this isn't CC. This is a kit. That means I can utilize it not only in my non-CC builds, but I can also just I can just have it and I won't have to worry about it breaking because it's part of the whole set within the Sims. So it's gonna perfectly match Max's match. So I ran to the EA app and I went to go and buy it. And when I brought it, I was so happy with it because not only do I get the flowers that are normally like I know I should get blooming rooms as well because then I can have the exact non-CC version of the blooming rooms and boho chic mod that I have, but I just really love the mod. And I think I've got enough flowers that came from this kit that I won't get blooming rooms quite soon. And again, won't have the computer processing power to even get all those kits if I wanted them. But I was so happy to get this kit, even if it was just because of the windows and the doors, because I've always wanted these windows and doors. And they are so, 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 so cute. So I think it was one of the things that really pushed me into building this house because I was able to finally have that, which I haven't been able to have for the longest time. And another thing I want to discuss about this house is that I think you can notice another thing I've done stylistically different from all the other houses and apartments and buildings that I've made is that everything's quite tiled. And that's because it is just so hot that you do not want to have carpet. Well, there's 2 reasons. You will have rugs everywhere just to add a sense of cohesion within the room and stuff like that. That's what I vividly remember. But I know one of my grandmothers has carpeted, but my other grandmother doesn't have carpeted because carpet is really annoying because there's quite a bit of since I think the type of the tropic I think it's is it savanna? I think yeah. So yeah. So I think the type of I forgot what it's called, but it's the thing when the environment is savanna. So you've got quite a lot of dust around just because it's just such a hot environment. So when you have carpet, it just sticks compared to if you have tile. And then also because it's savanna, it is so hot. You do not want to be stepping on hot carpet all the time. So everything is tiled, it's cooled, and it's really nice. It's a similar vibe to what I've seen in a lot of Australian homes as well. So it's really, really nice. And yeah, everything's a little bit more tiled. Everything is quite blank spaced in terms of, because you can just really do anything. Because I think that little bit of research I did do regarding this was look at Airbnbs, because Airbnbs are what I was able to see. And there was just a lot of it was a lot of white walls except for the bathroom. The bathrooms are always so colorful. And I love that. Like I loved my other grandmother's house, she's got a very colorful bathroom, and I love that. So I included, as you can see, a lot of color within this build that I would not normally add. But I think it just added this sense of family and home to it because it was so colorful. So I'm really happy that I utilized color in it. Is my next build gonna be probably black and white? Probably, because the color, as nice as it was, it did something to my head having to do it because I'm not. It's not that I hate color. It's just with my mind. My mindset. I'm gonna say this. My mindset is when I'm doing interior design, because interior design is not my favorite design. That's why you won't see that many apartment renovations if they're not CC. And if they are CC, another reason why I don't like doing apartment renovations is because they're always so much more glitchy than the other things that I do. So yeah, but beyond that, I don't really use that much color because in my mind, every single time I use color, I end up like targeting a color, which yeah, it makes sense if you're an interior designer. Oh, so if you're thinking of doing a room with like a potent yellow theme, you will probably utilize lot of yellows, but you also use accenting colors. So you wouldn't just like use yellow. Yellow would be your baseline, but you will use other colors to accent that color and pick it up. But with me, I fall into this mental space where, okay, the room is yellow, everything is yellow. The desk is yellow, the side tables are yellow, the bed covers are yellow, the bed is yellow, the walls are yellow, everything becomes yellow. And it doesn't like, if you look at the room that I'm working on now, if I've synced it right, the base color is yellow, but there's also the accenting of the blues and the grays and the slight pinks and the greens. And it's the same with if I'm doing the master bedroom now. The main color here is more of a mustard yellow, but then we've got some browns tones into it. And then we've got some, yeah, we've got mainly brown tones into it. And I don't know what do I do for the rug? Yeah, and we've got like bits of red from the plant and stuff like that. So like that's what I mean. Like you've got all these other colors that just help. Like it just helps. Actually, did I play test this? Because I'm looking at where that plant is, and I'm thinking, is this thing gonna be able to move? Hey guys, when you download this, I'm gonna play test it. I'm gonna play test this, so it might just shift a little bit. I was about to say, if you guys download it and you see your Sims can't go into the master bed, you might need to just shift that plant a little bit. I'll play test it before I put it on the gallery, but as you watch this video, it should be on the gallery. So yeah. What else? Yeah, so all the details for this video will be in the gallery down below as it always is. And I'm seeing you guys are really loving that castle build I did. So would you guys be interested in another castle build? I was thinking of doing a mesh. I'm thinking because I don't like doing castle style much. No, hold on. Let's step back a second. I love doing traditional architecture. I love the old that like doing columns and all of those things. I love that. Is my favorite type of building style. But it's a lot of trust to process compared to like this type of building style, modern building styles, because you can't see the end result as quickly, and you kind of just have to keep trusting and hope for the best that it actually turns out how you want it to turn out. But yeah, if you guys want another type of castle, I can make like a gothic castle. I'm really interested in that. I could make an ice castle. I was thinking of doing that. Or I can make like this castle that's now turned into an apartment. So maybe not a castle, but it's just a very old architecture. But anyway, the video is coming to an end. Thank you so much for just watching all of this. My mind was kind of all over the place, and I probably didn't even discuss nearly as much as I needed to regarding this build. But wait, there was one thing that I just remembered. At the back, you're gonna see a tank. That tank is it's not everywhere present, but I know specifically in Zimbabwe it's present. It's a water tank basically, so that's what runs the water to the house, as well as the water generator, the water heaters, and everything like that. But anyway, yeah. We call them boreholes, so that it's like a borehole water thing. Anyway, okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but if you don't want to, that's also okay. I appreciate you staying this long and listening to all of my ramblings. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I read all of your comments, so please leave one. And I'll see at the more the merrier, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.